now I go to a whole bunch of Shenmue related things. Last year I actually did this fun video at E3 where I got together. Cory Marshall's the lead actor. He plays Ryo. He's a friend of mine.
He's awesome.
And he's a great dude. Yeah. And so I asked him, like, hey man, like, I've got this idea. I want to film a video at E3, like at the Sega show floor. I want to go there and I want you to be involved. I want you to wear a jacket and we're just going to walk around and we're going to have you just ask people questions as Ryo. We could pull that up actually if that's possible.
Yeah, let's do that.
Just look up Adam Koralik Shenmue E3 or something like that. I'm sure that series of keywords will come up. Koralik. And look up, Shenmue E3 probably would do it. No, or go see if we can go to YouTube itself possibly. Try as Ryo. Try Ryo Hazuki.
Oh, maybe.
I'm trying to think. Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to remember what I actually called. There you go. Interviewing people. There you go. So sorry about the ads. Greedy YouTubers.
No, it's fine.
What are they doing?
We all gotta eat.
Yeah. Use Groupon. Yeah. So right there on the left, you got Cory Marshall, and on the right, you've got Lisa Wilkerson. She voiced various characters in Shenmue 2. Mm-hmm. And the basic premise of the video is, like I said, I just wanted them to go up and interview people and just see who got the joke and see who was confused. Some people really got it because they knew we were going to be there, so they're wearing like full Ryo attire. Just click around and you'll see that stuff. It was a
let's skip to that. That sounds really awesome.
Yeah, just click anywhere. I got some cameos from my buddy.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Kelsey Lewin's a friend of mine. Metal Jesus Rocks makes a cameo in a minute because they're both friends of mine.
Did you see a black car that day?
His voice is, I was actually wondering how his voice would be now that he's much older, but still sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Can you translate the Chinese language? No.
Oh man, I can't wait for Shenmue 3.
Who doesn't? I don't really.
Did the people know anything about this?
Some people did, like the ones who were dressed like in cosplay there got it, and other people were just like, what? And some people figured it out like as we were going because like I remember that.
That's cool. Hi, you're really cool. It reminds me of, I don't know if you've ever seen it, Mega 64.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
that's actually in the comments. A lot of people are like, you stole us from Mega 64. I'm like, I have the actual actor.
He's the original
He's
voice
the actual guy who does it. I stole it.
You can't beat that. You can't beat that.
Yeah, he's a buddy of mine. So we did this. Actually, it was funny. The first time I ever met Cory, I was in Los Angeles, and he was like, "Hey, we had done a podcast together." And he's like, "If you ever come out to Los Angeles, look me up, and we'll hang out." So I was like, "All right." So I went out there for an event I was invited to, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm in town." So he actually comes over, and then that was around the exact same time Kickstarter was going on, and he was like, "We should make a video to promote it." And I was like, "I totally agree. What was the idea?" Weirdest idea ever. We just laid in bed together and decided you need to promote Shenmue. Yeah, exactly. That was the first time I ever met him. I got in bed with him. That's always been the joke. Is like, hey man, I got in bed with Cory the first time I met him. I'm just saying.
That's awesome, man. I mean, like, he's such a good sport. I'm so happy he's back. We're friends on Facebook, actually, so I mean, it's kind of surreal for me, but he's such a down-to-earth guy, and I'm happy that they brought him back. And a lot of people were like complaining about some people would complain about his voice in the first one, but he was much younger, and it was his first time, and he got it through college, right?
He actually auditioned through, I think he was in New York at the time,
He's so lucky. I wish I was a part of that.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. But I mean, you can always have him on the podcast. He'd love to tell you stories. He's got so many stories. Like you were talking a bit about the detail of the game, right? Like going back, circling around to that. He'll tell you the story openly. Like when they were making the game and they would give him books of like information every day. He's like every single character, not just Ryo and his father, like every NPC had like massive books written about their history, including things like what their blood type was.
That's amazing.
Like everything.
That's cool.
The game was ridiculous in its intricate details.
And I love that. I mean, I remember Shenmue Passport, you'll have like, it talks about characters that you would just see walking by, but you never get a chance to talk to. There was characters that would walk by. You know the area where it's like the end of... is it Dobuita?
It must be.
No, and then it's like you just see highway cars and you can't go further.
Right before you get the bus?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Dobuita.
Dobuita, right? So you would see people pass by, and they actually have a story, like in Shenmue Passport, which was amazing. Yeah. And let's segue into the amazing things we like about Shenmue.
The actual game.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, it's the intricate detail, man. I mean, first and foremost, for me, Shenmue is the story. that story is fresh. It's unique. It's, I mean, at least to us in the West, you know, because it's a Japanese story, you know, deep in Chinese lore. So
Yeah.
for us, that's like a very fresh take, which is why I think, ironically, it gravitated more towards a Western audience, even though it was intended more for a Japanese audience. And I don't know, I find that story just unbelievable. Like, I am so interested in seeing where it goes. The gameplay was always solid and fun, but to me, what really hooked it was the story.
Yeah. I love so many things about that game. Like I was going to say, I compare every game that I play to Shenmue. Like if a game was able to achieve all that in 18 years, like 18 years
20
ago.
no 20 years ago.
20
The
years
game
ago.
came out in 99 in Japan.
There
1999,
you go.
20 years ago.
Wow.
That game
Wow.
came out.
20 years ago, a game was able to achieve so much. Like all these new games have no reason not to even be close to that. For example, every NPC was a different modeled face.
Yep.
You didn't have like, you know, multiple characters like Grand Theft Auto who just spawn and they're just like whatever. No, every character had a different face and was different than the other NPC. That's why I developed such a connection with the game and the characters. I like the voice acting. I always played it in English. I like Ryo Hazuki's voice. Cory was awesome, and I kind of like understood him, and then it kind of built my personality too. I was a lot more serious going into high school. You know, I was trying to be like, you know, tough like Ryu and not take shit from anyone. It kind of influenced my life. So a lot of the things I like too was because I love Jackie Chan movies and I love the Jet Li movies and Bruce Lee movies. It had a concept of martial arts. It wasn't guns or swords or anything. It was just martial arts. It was your fists and your legs, and that's how you deal with the situation in the game. I love the QTEs. Like actually back then, I loved the QTEs more than the free fighting. But now that I'm older, I'm like, no, I like both because free fighting is cool because you get to be in control. When I was younger, I just liked to be taken into the story and just like seeing all those cool cutscenes. It was so cinematic. I love games that are cinematic. Everything was voice acted. That's huge for me.
Yeah, every NPC has routines of dialogue that can only happen at certain times.
Yeah.
Like you could literally on your if you wanted to, if you sat down and went, I want to hear everything in this game, you literally can't, because as soon as you trigger something by learning something from one NPC, every other NPC's dialogue routines change. So you can't, and they contradict each other because, you know, like once you learn one, the others don't work. So you have to play the game a billion times, and that's why you'll always find new stuff in that game. It's insane.
Yeah.